Hey Miles, thanks for joining us. So we're here to highlight your experience as it pertains to switching careers and kind of changing your entire direction, which is something common with MBA students. So can you walk me through some of your prior experience before starting the MBA, and then let me know kind of where you want to go?
Sure. Before coming back to school, my career was in writing. I started doing writing and advertising, and then it moved on to corporate communications. So I did that for 3 years, and during that time I started to become interested in finance and knew that I wanted to move into that field. Because I had no background in finance, I knew that I needed to go back to school to get that experience, and for me it made a lot of sense to go into a full-time program rather than a night program or anything like that, to focus on that full-time.
Did you find that you had difficulty refocusing your journalistic capabilities into more numbers-driven analytical capabilities?
I think there is a difference between the two, in the sense that a lot of what I did in the past was not mathematical by any means, whereas everything's quantitative now. One thing I was surprised about is a lot of people in the Career Center said, you really need to leverage what you've done in the past, and I think part of me thought it was a little bit less relevant to finance, but I've really learned through my internship and just different people I've spoken with that a strong background in communications is very helpful, and despite the fact that there's a lot of math, it's really communicating that math, and that can be a challenge to people, so it actually has prepared me in some ways.
So what do you think are the things that personally or professionally have helped carry you all the way through from journalism to corporate finance to investments?
I think it's helpful when you're interested in what you're moving into. So finance was something that I was interested in. I made a pretty deliberate decision to come back and study that. In terms of kind of, I guess, how I've grown in that area, partially I'd say trying to do things outside of class. Obviously class takes up a lot of time and keeps you busy, but through doing case competitions, through just participating in outside of class activities, I think it really prepares you well and kind of separates you when you're moving into a different field.
So Miles, last question, what kind of advice would you give to some incoming students that are looking to be career switchers, and not just say from marketing to finance, but more from kind of a less traditional business role to a more traditional business role?
For me, the best advice that I would give is talk to a lot of people and participate in a lot of events. Those are really helpful. When I first came in, I knew I was interested in investments, but as you participate in different events, speak to alumni, learn all the different roles in finance, you really get to know it a lot better. And that's extremely helpful. I think the more you know about it, the more what you do kind of fits into the bigger picture, the better the understanding you have, and that's tremendously helpful. I mean, doing things outside of class is what I'd stress the most.